How comfortable are you with the powerful light that you're shining in the world? Hi, everyone. It's Genene on day 4 of our 30-day yoga journey. And today we're going to, wherever you're at, have this opportunity to expand that comfort that you have, shining your light and letting it shine just a little brighter. And we're going to do that physically by working with our lumbar spine. So close your eyes gently. Make sure you have a comfortable seat, cross-legged, Sukhasana position. And from deep inside your being, choose an intention for this particular practice. What comes to your mind when you think about your lumbar spine? Do you feel supported? Do you feel energized, calm, balanced, unbalanced? Fold your hands together in front of your heart. And from those musings, state your intention. Maybe it's a word, a sentence, a feeling of what you want to create on your mat today. Release your hands gently down to your thighs. Allow your eyes to open. And let's come to lying on our back. So let's start with our knees bent and our feet flat. So make sure they're parallel, the feet anyway. And the legs are hip bone width apart. And draw your right knee into your chest. So you can keep your left leg bent or you can straighten the leg. So at this point, once you draw your knee into your chest, you'll find your low back on the floor. And let's do some knee circles. So without hands, take your arms down by your sides and circle the knee very slowly, one direction. Use your strong abdominal strength to keep your pelvis from rocking around. So you can play with just relaxing and feeling the pelvis move around and then choosing, okay, I don't want that. And then do nice, stable circles. And now circle the other direction. Nice round circles. And now you're going to take that leg up into tabletop, so bent 90 degrees. And squeeze this right glute and bring the leg out to the side. You're going to figure out, if you haven't already, that the glutes have a lot to do with your lumbar spine and helping it. And exhale back to center, as do your powerful legs. Inhale out to the side, squeeze, and you're lengthening through the right inner thigh, and then back to center, and out to the side, back to center, and 2 more. And back. Use a long inhale to open, and then exhale, back to center. Take your left hand on your right outer leg. Roll on to your left outer hip, all the way over. And then begin to work your right shoulder back down to the ground. If it lifted up, right palm faces up. Nice little twist here. And use some strong abdominal muscles to reach your top hip, your right hip, away from your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Switch sides. Left knee draws into chest. And you can use your hands here, use your belly. And then no hands. Your hands can be flat on the floor to help you support that pelvis. And then you can first rock the pelvis around as you move the knee and then choose to keep that pelvis still and just move the knee. So just moving the femur bone, thigh bone, in the socket. And just notice how the rest of your body is responding, and choose to keep all the work going on here and not your jaw or your head or your shoulders. And then go in the other direction. That's giving you valuable information about how you work. When one thing doesn't work, something has to pick up the slack. The body is holistic. It works together. Nothing operates all by its lonesome. And now we're going to move the knee out to the side. Squeeze the left glute. Open the left inner thigh. Exhale back to center. And then open. So you're going to want to be in a hurry to do these, and these are slow. Back to center. You're opening and holding just for a few seconds, and then back to center. And just note the difference between right and left. Note any judgments that are popping up for you. And exhale back to center. Now roll onto your right outer hip and left shoulder on the ground. Deep breaths here. Inhale back to center. Take a breath. Exhale it all out. Take this moment here to find your spine so you can literally feel your spine on the ground, right? So feel the curve in your low back, just enough of a curve, not a huge one. Feel the thoracic spine on the ground. Feel the shoulders on the ground. Feel the curve of your neck. Feel the head on the ground, and feel that alignment of your spine here. And then with no floor to help you, we're going to find that again. So bend the knees, roll to your right side, and come up to hands and knees. So on hands and knees with neutral spine, gaze a little bit ahead of you on the floor so your neck is nice and long. Engage your pelvic floor, engage your belly. And then inhale your right arm and your left leg, so opposite limbs in the air, and hold. So the tendency is you're going to want to turn the left leg out. So the left big toe, you can peek. Make sure it's pointed straight down. You are pushing away the floor with your left hand. You can elevate your palm if this hurts your wrist. You can come onto fingertips. But keep stretching from right fingertips to left toes, and use your low belly lifting to support that lifted left leg. And exhale, set it down. Other side. Building spinal strength. Inhale, left arm, right leg. So it's this feeling that you have in your leg of turning in and lifting up and out. This leg is working. It's not dead weight. See if with every breath you can create a little bit more space between every vertebra of your spine so that at the end of practice, you're 3 inches taller. Exhale, set everything down. Child's pose, big toes together, knees wide. Sit down onto your heels. If this hurts your knees, you're throwing a blanket behind the knees and placing your head on your mat or prop if need be. Hands underneath shoulders. Use your abdominals to pull yourself up. And let's come onto our forearms. So coming onto our forearms, find that nice neutral spine best you can. Push the floor away with your forearms and then step your legs back one at a time. So there's going to be this play where you want to sink your hips down too high, but most often you want to stick your hips up here. Why? Because you don't want to work your abs. You'll find the happy medium by feeling where your abs are like, oh, this is hard. And that's where you stay. So now, take your right forearm across your mat. Take your feet a little wider and spin so that your heels are spinning to the right, like this. And inhale, lift your arm, left arm up to the sky. So forearm plank, side plank. You can always stack the feet. That's harder. This is easier. Lift the waist. Pull that right forearm underneath you, and you can gaze either out in front of you or look up at that left hand. But if that hurts your neck, you're not doing that. Exhale, lower. You can grab a chair and do the same thing on the chair seat. So spin the heels left forearm comes across, spin the body clockwise. Pushing down on that left forearm, reach the right arm up to the sky if you like. Your gaze is either straight ahead or up to the sky. Depends on how your neck's feeling today. Keep lifting your waistline up away from the floor. Imagine you're trying to get up onto the tops of your feet. Exhale, lower down. Now we have choices. So come down to your knees. And you can either now come onto your hands, but if this is no good on your wrists, then you can stay on your forearms. You can stay on that chair seat. Just depends on what you want to do today. So if you're on your hands, come into plank from this position. Feet are going to be nice and wide. Swing your heels to the right. At this point, you can stack your feet one on top of the other if you like. That makes it harder. So if you want it easier, keep this foot here, lift the hips. You could stay here or keep spinning the eye of the elbow that way. Push down through the inner edges of your hands and then lift the left arm up. And say, isn't this fun? If it's not, change something. It should be challenging, maybe a little discomforting, but not painful. All right, one more breath. And exhale, set that down, go the other side when you're ready, but you're going to go slow, right? You can take your feet wide, spin onto the heels, get the twist, get this action going, the elbow, eye, going forward. And the tendency is to put too much weight here on the pinky, put it through the inner edges of all these fingers, lift up. Maybe you stack your feet, maybe you don't. You could lift your top leg. You could do a lot of fun things. If you like, you could grab your foot, but you might not be warm enough for that. And exhale, lower. Downward facing dog, stretch it out. Come down onto your knees. Step your right leg forward, right between the hands. Do whatever you need to do to get it there. You can grab your ankle. And let's just take your pelvis forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. You should really feel this starting to go into the hips, into the lumbar region. And now walk that right foot over to the right. And place your hands to the inside, lizard pose. So lengthen your spine first. Sometimes in a hurry to go downward, we forget that we have a spine that we want to honor. So now you choose. Do you want to come down to forearms? Do you need to place your hands a little farther forward? Do you need to grab blocks or something and put them underneath forearms? Or do your forearms just go to the floor? Breathe into your hips. Make it easier by engaging more. Now we're going to get into those powerful legs we were talking about. So lower legs draw in, inner knees, inner thighs, go back and apart, widening all the way up into the pelvis. Sitting bones go apart. And then take your tailbone, lengthen it into that space. Pull your belly away from your thighs, just like we did in child's pose. So just think we're just in child's pose in a slightly different leg arrangement. And then release, come up. Let's just go to the other side. And step that left leg forward. Right between the hands to start. Shift the hips forward and back. Get a little movement. One more. Finding your edge and then walking this left foot over to the left. Yep, hands to the inside, lengthen spine, inhale. And then exhale, choose whether you're going to stay here. It doesn't matter what the other side called for. What is this side saying? And then pulling in all the parts of you. What is your mind saying? What are your feelings about this? What script have you written for yourself here? Use your legs. Lower legs draw in. Upper legs broaden back and apart. Opening the sitting bones apart. Just enough. Not trying to break anything. Just going a little into your edges. Softening them. Lift your low belly up so the tailbone can descend. And then come back up and step your right foot between your hands. More opportunities. You got to pull into your pelvic floor, otherwise you tend to fall over. And then lift up, arms down by your sides, Genene with your arms down. And start to turn this into a back bend. So your arms Your fingers might touch the floor really easily as you bend back, or maybe you need to go slower than that. Use your legs. Again, if you think about the lower legs drawing in, inner knees, inner thighs broadening apart, widening out behind you, then maybe you can go deeper. Inhale, come back up. And now add the arms. They can be bent out to the sides or straighten them up, your choice. But remember what we did with the cervical spine. Remember that class where you take the head straight back and then push out through the crown of your head. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Other side, step the left leg forward. Come up when you're ready, taking your time that you need, making your way into that back bend. So if you feel a crunch or a ick, you don't push into it. That doesn't ever work. It's telling you, there's something I'm missing. Let me go back and figure out what part of my body needs to work more, what needs to let go. And try something else. Come back up first. Yeah, inhale up. Then reach the arms up or out to the sides and lean up and back. Can you see the floor? Inhale up. Exhale, hands down. Come to hands and knees. Let's revisit. Inhale, right arm, left leg. This time, opportunity to grab the left foot. Right hand, left foot, and then push the foot into the hand. Extend and release. Inhale, stretch the limbs. Exhale, set it down. Other side, inhale. Exhale, bend the right knee. Reach the left arm back. This is an opportunity to use a strap. Push into the hand. Options for if your hamstrings cramp, you can try focusing on spreading the toes more. That often gets it to go away. Inhale, release. Whoa. And exhale, set everything down. Let's come down onto our backs. Knees bent, feet flat. So here are your options. Your options are, oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. So you stay here and breathe. And the next time you do this, maybe you do a little more, maybe not. Or you can go into bridge. Feet flat. Look at your feet. Make sure they're parallel. They're not turned out. So last thing we want to do, we're working on the low back here. We don't want to turn the feet out and draw everything in towards the pelvis and squish. So keep the feet parallel. Use the legs. Push straight down through the feet. Use your glutes. Inhale, lift the hips. Maybe you only lift halfway, and so you're in neutral spine, and that's fine. You're working on strengthening your glutes. Or you could, at this point, roll your shoulders under slightly and then lift up into a back bend where the heart goes towards the head. So a little trick with these, when you do the Genene back bends, when you do bridge, try talking. If your voice gets funny, it means you closed your throat. And even though we're working on lumbar spine, you want to keep your throat open. And then exhale, lower everything down. Take a breath here. Cross right ankle over left thigh. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you draw this knee into chest. Your choice. Get a little hip glute opener action here. And then other side. Lower. Cross left ankle, right thigh. Knee in. Uncross. Draw your knees into your chest gently. So this isn't the biggest stretch you can possibly do. It's more just the weight of your hands kind of stretch. A gentle, calming action here. And then Shavasana. Release your legs down to the floor one at a time. And take the time that you need to set yourself up so that you're comfy. And then gently close your eyes. Feel your spine in neutral on the ground, being supported by earth. Begin deepening your breath. And then choosing if you want to stay here longer, then do so. Or if you're ready to move back into activity, start wiggling toes and fingers, rolling ankles and wrists. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead, point your toes. Exhale your arms back down by your sides and bending your knees. Roll onto your right side. Press yourself up to sitting. And once you find that comfortable cross-legged position again, once again, close your eyes. And take your hands together, connecting thumbs with heart, and notice how you feel in your spine from your low back all the way to the crown of your head. Specifically noticing where you feel more balance and more freedom. Where did you create a clear path for your light to shine bright and free? Feel the gratitude towards yourself for taking yourself onto the mat, for taking time for your practice. And choosing how you want to shine that light once you leave your mat today. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Namaste.